Hello and welcome back to my Samurai Jack Retrospective. I'm your host, That Minnesotan Guy. Now, before we begin today's review, I would like to touch up on an issue brought up in the last episode. As you are aware, I was contacted by an alternate version of me in the multiverse who threatened my own Earth. I just want to let everyone know that I have updated my security protocols and we probably won't hear from him anytime soon. Alright now, I'm going to talk about a very important episode, so let us not waste any more time and review Samurai Jack, Episode 6, Jack and the Warrior Woman. Whoa! Well, I guess there's nothing wrong with having a random character blurt out like that. So we open this episode in an Arabian town, complete with acrobats, snakes, and strange folk. That man with the scorpions. He looks familiar. But I can tell you who he is. He's one of the scouts. They're dangerous mercenaries who roam the land looking for prey. What his real name is, I'm not aware of, but around here, he's known as Scorpius. We see a cloaked Jack finding his way around until he comes across what appears to be the home of a guru.
Hello!
I have a question. Why does Jack never cloak himself in future episodes? Surely he could use it to hide from bounty hunters. At first, the guru believes that Jack is here to buy a rug, but Jack corrects him with the scroll.
The ancient scroll of the Woolies.
Yes, they said that you might be able to help me.
Of course! The Woolies are old friends.
Remember, it's all connected. The guru presents Jack to the light of eternity and reveals important information. The light presents a jewel that can send Jack back in time, but only one of pure heart can use it. Jack is instructed to follow the setting sun and the rising moon, but he must beware the evil in the vision.
I cannot make the image out.
Well, I can make the image out. And I know for a fact that this is Aku.
Master Aku will pay us greatly for your destruction.
Jack does his best to fight the bounty hunters until he is saved by a mysterious woman.
What are you looking at?
Jack gets his sword back and helps the woman fight off the bounty hunters. She jumps through a window and Jack follows her with the bounty hunters behind them. I'm just going to remind everyone this now, but there is something to be learned from a situation like this. I'll let you know by the end of this video. Jack and the woman escape using camel-like creatures called uklas, and the hunters give off what appears to be a defeated look. Maybe it's just me, but something about the look that the bounty hunters give off is a bit suspicious. I wonder...
Who are you? Why did you help me?
You're welcome.
Forgive me. I did not mean to insult you.
No tears shed, Samurai.
Jack.
What?
Samurai Jack. It is what the people of this land have named me.
After a little traveling across the desert, Jack and the woman stop for the night. Ah, one piece of evidence for my lesson. The woman introduces herself as Ikra and explains to Jack that her father stood up to Aku. Unfortunately, he was trapped in a ring of fire. She is aware of the jewel and intends to use it to free her father. The guru was the last of his kind and knew of the jewel's location. This is a good backstory and all. But here is another piece of evidence for my lesson. Jack states that the two of them share the same goal, and with the jewel, they can accomplish their quests together. With the rising moon, they set off on a long journey. Oh, you see, the road is treacherous, and the desert is said to have many perils that even the greatest of warriors can succumb to. There have been many tales over the years. Not many have lived to tell them. to others.
Jack and Ikra first overcome a sandstorm and are later attacked by a death worm.
I'm impressed by the fact that this episode managed to get away with a little gore. The things that creators can do.
Jack and Ikra continue on foot.
It's never explained what happened to the Uklas. Perhaps they ran away, I guess.
Ikra is grabbed by a large winged creature, and Jack saves her by giving the creature a good ol' smack. Jack then gets caught in what I think is quicksand, and Ikra uses a stick to pull him out.
That's the last of the obstacles. All Jack and Ikra have to do now is reach the jewel. And I think the best compliment that I can give this montage is that the music fits very well with the overall setting. Here's a little sample for ya.
We then get a brief bonding scene, and Ikra gives a rather interesting look at Jack.
I think it's safe to say that this will be my final piece of evidence for the lesson that I will give you.
The next morning, Jack and Ikra arrive at a settlement which, by surprise, turns out to be friendly. A show is then put on for the two, and Ikra gets very nervous when the male belly dancer arrives.
This brings up some rather interesting questions about... Wait! I shouldn't say it, because that would give away the twist for anyone who hasn't seen this episode. Though I hope smart viewers have figured it out by now.
Jack and Ikra finally arrive at an oasis complete with fresh water.
Why is it that I can never find an oasis when I really need it?
Jack spots the jewel, and after requesting to use its power, the jewel tests him and Ikra to see if they are of pure heart. Unfortunately, the jewel's guardian is summoned. Jack says he won't fight, and is flame-grilled by the guardian's heat vision.
How he doesn't end up being a burnt matchstick is anybody's guess.
Ikra uses her power of flight to evade the guardian, and then grows bigger to subdue him.
The jewel! We have succeeded!
It can't be!
Not true. That's impossible.
Oh, but it is. The Dark Lord Aku has used deceit many times in his reign of tyranny.
Yes, I know that there were hints that Ikra was Aku the whole time. Anyway, Aku reveals that he had a premonition about Jack using the jewel. He had no idea of its whereabouts and disguised himself as a woman in order for Jack to lead him to it.
Fool!
Now you're gonna get it. Do it, Jack. Give Aku a good beating.
Aku retreats from this fight, saying that he will find a way to defeat Jack and his sword. We end this episode with Jack swearing that he will destroy Aku. Wacha!
So that was Jack and the warrior woman. Now what did we learn today? That's right. Never trust a beautiful woman, especially one who's interested in you. While this episode is not one of my personal favorites, it's still good in my book. Good story and intriguing music are this episode's strengths, but the action is lacking for me. It gets better though as the series goes on. I also feel that the most important thing to take from this episode is that Jack becomes more aware of Aku's trickery. That's what stood out to me the most, and it applies to future episodes. Other than that, Ikra was pretty cool for the female persona that Aku disguised himself as. Join me next time when I review Episode 7. Now just remember, folks, I don't do this show for praise, recognition, approval, or anything like that. I do it because I want to. I'm That Minnesotan Guy, bringing you all quality entertainment since 1996. Or is it 1986? I don't know. I'll see y'all next time.